Hi, this is Randal Schwartz, host of FLOSS Weekly. This week, Dan Lynch joins me. We're going to be talking about desktop gaming remotely. You're not going to want to miss this, so stay tuned.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is FLOSS Weekly with Randal Schwartz and Dan Lynch. Episode 560, recorded December 18th, 2019. Rolisteam. This episode of FLOSS Weekly is brought to you by Melissa. Bad data happens to good companies. That's why 10,000 businesses count on Melissa for clean, reliable address data. Get started today with 25,000 records cleaned for free at melissa.com/twit. And by Brave. Brave is the browser reimagined. Switch now to get unmatched speed and privacy and stop trackers from following you. Save battery life and earn rewards by opting in to privacy-respecting ads. Brave is free and easy to switch to. Go to brave.com/twit and switch to Brave today. It's time for FLOSS Weekly, the show about free, libre, open source software. I am your host, Randal Schwartz, Merlin at stoneage.com, bringing you each week the movers, the shakers, the big projects, little projects you may be using every day and not aware of it. I don't think today is going to be one of those. Projects you might want to download right after this show and play with. I think today is going to be one of those. Joining me once again is my lovely and talented co-host, Dan Lynch. Dan, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Randall. It's good to be here.
Great. And you've got a new orange mic? What is that?
Yeah, so you guys can't see this in there, but I'm now on a little couch because I've got myself a little studio set up, which I was playing with before, which I'll have to ask John questions about probably after. But yeah, so I've got a new camera, a new mic. Actually, the mic's not new. But I'm in the same room. I'm just kind of facing a different way. I need to decorate this wall a bit better because it's looking a bit boring right now. But yeah, still in my little studio in Liverpool in the UK.
Liverpool, yes, a very famous town for some, the rubles, I think it was, that came out of there, right? The Rudels?
Yeah, the Ruttles, yeah.
Something like that.
If anyone's seen it.
Yeah, okay. And I am once again in Seaside, same place I was last week, except I decided to try the other end of the room so I wouldn't have this weird halo over my head. It's actually working out well. I thought the mirror would actually reveal like my back and a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't. It turns out I block most of what you might be able to see in the mirror, so that's great. So we've got an interesting project today, and I occasionally mispronounced it as Rolisteam, but it's not. It's Rolisteam. Rolisteam, something close to that. And what it basically is, according to their spec, is it helps you manage tabletop role-playing games with remote friends and players. And it provides many features to share maps, pictures, and it also includes tools to communicate with your friends and players. And the goal is to make Rolisteam manage RPG games as good as RPG games around your table. So rather than hanging out with your friends, which is part of what RPG is about, you could have them at a distance. I guess this is sort of the ultimate geeky way of playing a role-playing game, is like have everybody at some other house. That would be good. Then they don't eat your food. I guess that's probably part of it. So that's probably really cool. What do you know about this so far, Dan?
I've got to be honest, I've only had a quick look at it, and I can't confess to be a big expert when it comes to tabletop gaming, but I know have a little bit of experience. It looks really interesting, and I think we may have we may channel Jonathan a bit because he knows a lot about the tabletop gaming stuff. But it seems like an interesting problem, I suppose, because a lot, if you're in a remote location, you want to play one of these games with people who are not necessarily physically nearby. You can do it with this, and as you said, it's actually the ultimate kind of geeky way of doing it, isn't it? So there is that.
Yeah. I mean, at DragonCon, which I go to every year, they have an entire, must be almost the size of like half a football field. It's huge. One of the big gaming areas, and they're all out there with their little, pieces, and they're moving them around maps. And they're rolling their 20-sided die. The hard part would be like a 100-sided die. I think it would kind of like just roll forever. I have no idea. But that's the next number above 20 that they can do, because it has to have the same number of size of faces and stuff like that. I mean, 6-sided die we're probably all familiar with, but gamers often use 20-sided die. So that's kind of the clever thing. Anything else before I get into the ad here?
No, let's do it. Let's get into it.
This episode of FLOSS Weekly is brought to you by the leader in address verification, Melissa. Every address is covered from Adelaide, Australia to Zipaqueta, Colombia, and everywhere in between. We all know there's nothing good about bad data. It costs money, hurts sales, and decreases customer satisfaction. If bad addresses, duplicate records, and bouncing emails are hurting your business, isn't it time to come clean with Melissa? Delta Faucet, Z1 Motorsports, and Car2Go use Melissa. You should too. Delta Faucet was able to improve their call center processes with global address auto-completion. Melissa was able to reduce the fraudulent e-commerce transactions for Z1 Motorsports by 90%. Melissa provides a full spectrum of data quality protection for your customer data. Verify postal addresses, mobile numbers, and email addresses. Update the addresses of customers that have moved and eliminate duplicate records. Gain additional customer insight into your data with Melissa's analytics. Easily build address verification and customer data verification into your custom application using Melissa's APIs, CRM cloud connectors, and e-commerce plugins, or upload your customer file for a quick data cleanse. Melissa is serious about securely managing her data. They continually undergo independent security audits to reinforce their commitment to data security, privacy, and compliance requirements. SOC 2, HIPAA, and GDPR compliant. Mailers spend about $20 billion annually in undeliverable mail. Don't lose customers or cash. Make every address count. Bad data happens to good companies. That's why 10,000 organizations worldwide trust Melissa to get their customer data clean and accurate. Get started today with 25,000 records cleaned for free at melissa.com/twit. That's melissa.com/TWIT, or call 1-800-MELISSA to find out more. And we thank Melissa for their support of FLOSS Weekly. Let's go ahead and bring in our guest, Renaud. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hey, and where are you speaking to us from?
I'm living in a little town near Paris called Châtillon. So basically,
Okay.
I'm 10 minute drive from Paris.
Oh, nice. All I know about Paris is having spent time in Charles de Gaulle Airport. That's really my entire experience of Paris has been connecting from one terminal to the other.
Yeah. Something wrong with the...
No.
What is
Nothing wrong.
Rolisteam?
Nothing wrong. No, this is totally normal.
What?
Okay.
You went away,
What?
Randall.
I went away?
Okay.
You went away.
Well, that's because I'm on Wi-Fi. I tell you, I have no choice about that. It just sucks.
Okay.
So
where-
if you
where's
could
that-
ask that question again, where you were talking about
Okay.
where he was in or how close he was to Paris or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you
All right.
said that
So-
you go from an airport to another in Paris, and it's only
Yeah.
your only experience.
So all I know about Paris is being in Charles de Gaulle Airport. I mean, I've connected from one terminal to another there, but I don't think I've ever actually been out in the city. So you at least have the privilege, if you're only 10 minutes away, of having been there. So let's talk about what we're here to talk about, which is Rolisteam, which I've been occasionally mispronouncing as Rolistream, just because it sort of seems like it needs an R in there somewhere. But what does Rolisteam do? What problem are you solving by reaching for Rolisteam?
Basically, Rolisteam is a software that help people to play together with
Yes.
at a role-playing game, and I mean, he has the same feature as a table. A simple table. People can sit around the table. That can put some documents. That can roll some dice on the table, and that's all. Basically, it's what I try to do with Rolisteam. And it's
Okay. And
of
so, And so let's step back just a little bit for the people who don't know what role-playing games are. What are these? They've been around for a while, right?
Yeah, it's a game when someone tell a story and the other player are a character from this story, and they decide and tell what their character are doing. So it could be a middle-age game when you have swords and dragons and stuff like that, or it could be in space and so on. There is a lot of universe, and basically the goal is to how do you say that? Is to live an adventure and to create a story together.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe kill some big demons or creature and stuff like that, and gain some treasure, and that's all. I think so.
Yeah. Now, if my brother was here on this call, he would talk about. He'd be talking for 20 minutes about all the different kinds of games there are and stuff. I'm a little more ignorant. I only know of Dungeons and Dragons and GURP, and I don't even know what the second one is, except that it's the name of a kind of gaming system. Does this support lots of different kinds of playing styles, or is it fairly restricted?
No, there is a lot of games, and they use different game mechanics, such as dice or maybe card, and stuff like that. Basically, I will say that what you need to play, it's a character sheet. So it's just a piece of paper when you put your the data and statistics of your character, and each player have one character, and the game master starts the story, and then when someone wants to do something with his character, he say, may I attack? I would like to open up a door or something like that, and you have to roll the dice or use other stuff to know if you succeed or not doing what you want. And at the end, the game master judge and validate what happens and what fail and what succeed.
So this doesn't actually replace the role of the game master, then, right?
No. Basically, you can use some computing stuff to do that, but such as scripting your story. And I know that some software do it, but not mine. And it's just connecting people, I will say. And there is no. I mean, I can help the game master because he can use some stuff for faster calculation, computing, and stuff for dice and stuff like that to know if a dice produces a success or not. But it just helps. It's not replacing him.
Okay, so this could, for example, Eric Duckman actually asked, does it actually roll the 20-sided dice for you? I mean, you can run a dice command, and at the end of the command, you will have an answer, yes or no, it succeeded. Ah, cool. And how did this get started?
You mean the project
Yeah.
or a game?
No, games have been around forever. I mean, they've been around since as long as we've had, the possibility of creating a 20-sided dice. So that's been around a while. I was actually talking before the show that you could, the next step above 20 is 100, but the problem is they just keep rolling. It's too little flats to actually stop anywhere. So 20 is sort of like the magic number for the highest we could go. But let's talk about the game. Did you create this, or are you just continuing to develop it? What's your deal here?
I started Rolisteam 10 years ago, but it was a fork of a former software called Rolisteam. And I changed the name when I started working with it. I mean, 10 years ago, a guy posted and asked for help on Linux French forum, and I helped him because he wanted to make Rolisteam working on Linux, and we tried to help him, and then I realized that it was a C++ software. So, as it's my specialty, I take part of this topic, and I help him and take care of the code, change some stuff, and working on Linux. And after a few months, I received some from other people, some requests for change, and after a few months, I say, okay, now it's too bad to let that die on the topic on the forum. I choose to create a website and make some noise about it, and then I start the project Rolisteam. And I didn't keep the former name because the developer from the former software didn't answer my call, so I have to create my own website and change a bit the packaging, I will say.
That you changed the name to Rolisteam. Steam. I said stream. I apologize.
Yeah.
Rolisteam. Does that mean something? That name, where does that word come from?
Yeah. It's kind of a pun, because in French, Rolist, it's the word for role-playing gamers, and as I would like Rolisteam to be more international, I put team in the name, so it has to be pronounced Rolisteam, and we have to mark the team word. And my main regret is that I would like a logo for my software which show that Rolisteam and team, the word team, it should be
okay,
important.
so it makes sense now. Yeah, because the team bit, I can somehow it's probably my fault. I kind of missed the whole team bit. I think because we're so used to talking about various different bits of internet like software, the word stream just jumps into my head, unfortunately. So probably user error on my point. It sounds really cool. I was looking at some of the different things you can do. So one of the things I can't say I'm an experienced kind of tabletop gamer. I've done it a bit, but I've got friends who are very, very kind of very much into that. And one of the big things about D&D, for example, is when you're like the dungeon master and you're creating the thing, is creating a kind of atmosphere for the players and all the rest of it. And I noticed you can choose if you're the game master, I think as you call it in the software, you can choose stuff like background music. So is that important for helping to create the atmosphere and stuff for the game master, as you call him?
Yes, for some game master, I will say it's very important. It's not my way to play. I don't like music because I prefer to be calm, and sometimes the music had some trouble with the conversation, and it's hard to follow. To when you select music, and sometimes you forgot to turn on the right song you select for this scene or something like that. But I know that it's important for many people, and I try to fit their needs.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense. I mean, sounds very cool. Actually, sorry, carry on. I'm cutting into you.
I will say that there is two kind of game master or user of Rolisteam. It's that some require or needs a really good I will say that they ask for Rolisteam to be as transparent as possible and show them where they are. So if they play in a middle-aged game, they want Rolisteam to be in wood and have some good-looking a look about middle age. And if they play in a spaceship, they want some metal and stuff like that. So they want, and then some for other people it's really not needed, and they'll just keep the basic settings, and it's the same for the music, I will say.
Yeah, so I was looking at the maps and stuff. So I was looking at the interface for the for Rolisteam, and you've got like it almost looks a bit like a graphics tool, like a drawing tool at first, because presumably the game master wants to be able to like draw the map out. Would they normally draw the map in the game and then it goes to everyone, or could they upload, scan a map or something and upload it?
Depending on what you want to reach, because if you want something beautiful, I will recommend to do it with a real software for painting, such as GIMP or Photoshop, and something like that, and then import it into Rolisteam. But if your player need at the moment a map to show the situation, and maybe you just have to create a map and draw some rectangle and put them on the map and say, okay, you are here, the bad guy is over here, and then it helps players to understand the situation. But
So you've got could you annotate like a map? So say I've got as you say, I've got a nice map that I've put on there, and then I realise that I need to say to another player, you are here, or this has happened, or something. Could I draw on it in Rolisteam and then just send them that, as well? Maybe annotate it a bit.
Yeah. You can draw in Rolisteam the map directly on the fly and share it with your players, and it's possible. But Rolisteam has simple tools, so if you want to reach high quality, perhaps it's be better to prepare yourself and prepare the map before the game, because when you play and you are the GM, you have so many things to do, and if you want to lose some time about creating a really good looking map, you can, but maybe your player will be bored, and I don't know. Perhaps they will looking for a new game master after that. So it's dangerous.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. If you turn up without the map, you're not going to look like you know what you're doing. Well, you don't really know what you're doing because you should have done that beforehand. I was looking at so you're connecting people in real time. Is there a limit to how many people can connect and play at one time? Is that more of like a network issue, or is there something in the software that would hit a limit of any kind?
All playing games is basically play with 6-7 people at a time. Or it's difficult because the time to speak. you have to split your time to each people, and that's very very bad. I mean, if a small group are better because you have time to play together and so on, and if you are too many, the game master will have some issue to make a round with asking for each people what they do, and then so I will say that I never try to push the Rolisteam server at its limits, but he can host many games at the same time. So it had been it had been designed for a lot of peoples, and but I never had the occasion to test it in real conditions. So I will say 10 people, it's easy. You should be able to do a lot more, but I never tried. So.
Interesting. I suppose I'm showing my lack of knowledge about the actual games myself there, because obviously it's to do with the mechanics of the game themselves. As you say, if you had too many people, it would take too long to kind of go around them all the time.
Yeah.
Someone's asked, have you had a 7-continent game yet? As in, like, people connected from different. I'm assuming they mean people connected from all different.
It's hard because of the time difference, time zone, because of the time zone, and I play with friends, but they are from different parts of France, but not far away. I already do some testing with Brazilian guys, and that's all. I think I'm not worried about it, I will say, but I would like to try.
So I mean, it'd be good for testing, I suppose. Somebody was asking, John, our engineer, was asking, nobody in Antarctica's playing this, and I think he's being facetious, but still, you never know. You may find someone in Antarctica. Maybe I can't remember if it's the Arctic or the Antarctic where they have penguins. Wherever it is, they love role-playing games, I've heard. So we get them on as well. You mentioned that it was forked from another project, and you changed the name. What happened to the original project? Do you know what happened to them? Did that get wound up, or are they still going, or what?
I think the guy who did that made his software because he wants to keep playing with his friends, and so he makes the software really quickly, and then a few years back after he didn't have any time to work on it, and he just changed his mind, I will say, just forget the project and let it die, I will say.
Well, I can't let Dan have all the fun. I'm going to be asking a few more questions in just a moment. But before that, we do have to say that this episode of FLOSS Weekly is brought to you by Brave. Brave is a next-generation web browser built by a team that is focused on privacy and performance. They are pioneering a better internet with privacy by default. Brave gives you control over who has access to your online activity. It's super fast, performing up to 6 times faster than the competitors. Brave is unlike other browsers in that it gives you unmatched speed, online privacy that blocks trackers, a better user experience, and it's free. Brave is easy to use. Getting set up is quick. Users can switch browsers efficiently, and it saves your battery life and reduces data costs. It feels just like using Chrome without being tracked. Can import your bookmarks with one click, and all of your favorite Chrome extensions are available. It's available for Mac, Windows, Linux, Android, and iOS. Brave rewards you for having advertisers pay you for your attention. Opt into Brave ads and you'll get rewarded with BAT tokens, basic attention tokens. This supports content creators and allows you to access premium content. Use rewards to easily tip your favorite content creators in Brave. Their goal is to help fix the web, improve privacy, and give publishers back their fair share of web revenue. Join our mission to fix the internet. You know you can trust Brave because it was co-founded by Brendan Eich and Brian Bondi. Brendan Eich was previously the co-founder of Mozilla Firefox and the creator of JavaScript. Brave includes options such as private window with Tor for those seeking advanced privacy and safety. Listeners of Floss Weekly can easily download Brave right now. Go to brave.com/twit and switch to Brave today. That's brave.com/TWIT. Yesterday was about big tech. Today is about us. Brave. And we thank Brave for their support of Floss Weekly. And now, Renaud, I have a question for you. One of the things that this is doing is supporting various role-playing games. Do you have support for things like Magic the Gathering, which has to have a lot of cards buried somewhere in the status?
Yeah, Rolisteam doesn't support card for the moment, but it's a feature that I would like to implement soon. And I know a software which deal with that. I don't remember the name. Sorry, but yeah. Basically, a card. It's a feature that I would like to implement, and I think in the next release it will be here.
Okay, and the maps that you're making, do they have to be like hexagonal squares or normal squares, or do you have restrictions on that?
In Rolisteam, there are two kind of maps. I will say the old one and the new one, basically. And the old one are a legacy from Rollistic, and the old one, and so you can draw anything. You just with some shape, I will say a rectangle, a line, and stuff like that, and that's all. When you have paint something, it's on the map forever. I will say you can erase it, but you cannot move it. You cannot move it or change this side and stuff like that. And in the new map system, I changed that, so you can add some pictures, and you can change the dimension, the size of the picture, and any object you put on the map. And on the new map, you can show a grid, and the grid can be rectangular or use a hexagon, and not hexagon, octagon maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. And so when this grid is displayed, you can attach an element to the grid, I will say, and it fits a good position, so you can easily place all the items on your map.
Well, you can't tile octagons, so it's probably hexagons, because I know you can tile hexagons and
it's
squares.
Hexagon, yeah.
It's probably those two, one of those two. And so there's this idea that the entire map isn't revealed to all of the players right away. So do you have the ability for the game master to have the whole thing already drawn, but only reveal parts of it to the players as they discover things?
Yeah, sure. This feature is called Fog of War, and both map system have this feature, and in the new map system I have also character site. So if you put some a character on the map and activate the Fog of War, you can activate also the character site, and then each player will I will say a bit will have the same point of view of this character, and it's only a triangle. It's near its character, and that's all. So each player can have a different view on the map, depending of the position of their character.
Cool. And do you need at least one of the machines, or hopefully probably the primary machine needs to have a public IP, right?
Yeah. Basically, yes, I will say, because one people should host the game, so the other player should join him, and the server has to be on the public IP address. But with the latest version, I released a server, standalone server, so you can install it on any hosting company server like, and then connect to it, so you don't have to open up an internet port on your side. Each people can join an online server.
And what's been the most complex part of developing this application?
Interesting question. I will say the most difficult task for me is to design features that I don't need. I will say, because I'd like Rolisteam to be a generic and help any kind, every game master, every player, and so I try to not make it perfect for my kind of playing, and provide some features for everybody. And it's hard to get information what other people want, and so that's the main issue. And on the technical aspect, I will say that network is also a difficult one.
Yeah, and what are you using for that? Are you using like a TCP connection to the server and send stuff back and forth across that? Probably your own protocol?
Yeah, exactly. I choose to make Rolisteam free from dependency, except one big, it's Qt. So the Qt framework. I don't know if I have to describe it, but it provides a lot of stuff, network and geometry and stuff like that. So I use it, and it's very good to make a cross-platform application. And so I basically keep Qt, and I use a lot of stuff from Qt framework, but I don't want to go elsewhere, because some libraries are very difficult to make cross-platform, and so yeah, I use the network modules from Qt framework, and I implement my own protocol.
And what about audio chat? Do you have audio chat as a feature?
No. Basically, users use another software to do that. So maybe TeamSpeak or Discord, something like that, or even Skype. And Rolisteam is a really complex software now, because there is network connection, there is two-dimension geometry. You have a dice system, which is built as a script interpreter. So yeah, there is some compilation theory behind this module, and so many things. So I don't want to lose my waste my time on something that other software do way better than what I will be able to do. I prefer to be focused on game features and help the game, not the conversation, not the sound and audio chatting. It's a waste of time, I would say.
What's still missing? What's the biggest pieces that you're still working on when you have spare nights and weekends?
Right now, I'm working on...
Do those all go away because you're gaming? Do those all go away because you're gaming?
No.
I know gaming can take up an infinite amount of time, so I'm just wondering if you ever have time to get back to the actual coding of this, right?
Yeah. I play twice per week, but the other time I can work on Rolisteam. So right now, I'm working on splitting the logic part and the view. It's a huge work because I have to move a lot of codes and to be ready. And my goal after that is to make a new interface. And this interface will be touchscreen compatible, friendly, I will say. So touchscreen friendly, and that make me able to release Rolisteam on Android for phone and tablets. So that's the main goal. I will say another feature that I would like to implement. It's a 3D dice roller. So people, because right now when you want to roll some dice, you have to type a command. So it's a few characters and so on. It's really quickly, it's really fast, but it's not really beautiful, I will say. And some people ask for 3D roll, dice roll, and I would like to do that. And I think it's that's all.
Cool. And I would suggest that if you're looking, go ahead.
I would say that one feature I work on right now, it's I convert Rolisteam to the KDE project because Rolisteam is now part of incubator program from KDE, and
nice.
And I have to change a lot of stuff to be compliant with the KDE standards, such as a new build system, a new way of translating the software, stuff like that. And at the end of the process, I hope to get advantage from KDE community for translation and continuous integration.
Cool. We're almost out of time, so we have to keep these answers short. Okay. Well, I have to keep the questions short, I guess. Is really what I have to do. I would suggest that you look at Flutter for your iOS and Android app. That way you can have like one code base for both, and it'll be very efficient Dart code instead of JavaScript code. But that's a long story. I did want to ask, only because we have to ask this at least once per show, have you figured out a way to incorporate blockchain yet?
I know that blockchain is a word that come up.
It's a joke question. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I know, but maybe one day I will have a blockchain in Rolisteam.
Because then you could have players pay each other in Bitcoin. That'd be kind of cool. But Maybe that's just a little too far away. Anyway, two final questions. One is, well, three final questions, actually. No, there's four questions. No, there's five. No, there's three final questions. One is, did we not cover something that you wanted to make sure got covered sometime during the show?
Yeah, we'll talk about not only Rolisteam, because Rolisteam it's a software, but there are also I work on some other software. I have Dice Parser, which is a Discord bot. So Discord is kind of a IRC for gamers, and this bot is just the same code from Rolisteam for the dice system, and it's used by 40,000 server on Discord. So I have a lot of users, and it's really great. It make it really powerful, and I'm really glad to produce to make that. And what else? I will say that Rolisteam come with another software called RCSE, which is a character sheet editor for Rolisteam. So it makes it easier for game master to prepare and a nice view for its player. And that's all.
Cool. And what's your favorite scripting language?
Python, I will say.
Python. Okay, yeah, Python.
Yeah,
That'll work.
Python.
It's one of the P languages. It's not quite the one I like, but it's definitely one. You have to be properly indented. You have to indent it as Guido intended. All right. And your favorite text editor?
For Rolisteam, I use mainly Qt Creator because it's easier for a Qt project. But for other purpose, I will say Notepad++ on Windows, and
Notepad++. Okay, cool.
And NVI on Linux.
VI. Okay. Well, see, none of my favorite ones. Oh well, there we go. It's fine. You can use whatever you want. I just do the survey. I just want to find out what people are using out there, and so I don't ever really care a lot about what people are doing. Anyway, hey, this has been great. If I was into desktop gaming, role-playing games, I'd probably be right into this software. And like I said, my brother would have really enjoyed this, and maybe he even played with it while he was alive. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. No, this is the kind of thing that lets you be a long ways away from those other smelly people. That's probably a good thing. So, and they're not in your refrigerator eating your food. So this is great. They're going to stay in their place. They're going to shower on their own schedule, and they're going to eat out of their own refrigerators. So this is a great way of doling that out. Renaud, thanks for coming on the show and talking to us about Rolisteam.
Thank you.
All righty. That was Renaud talking to us about Rolisteam. What do you think there, Dan?
It sounds like a really interesting project. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of users there. I think you said 40,000 or something on the Discord server, which is impressive. It sounds really, really good. I know a lot of people who are massively into this, and it is a huge thing. And, you know, it seems like a really great idea for a project. And I was interested to hear him talk about the challenges there of say, networking and so on, and other things that, you know, you have to deal with as you get further away. Yeah, very cool.
Well, and you have to develop a way with this, something like the software here, that works the same way or a similar way as you would have. You had a bunch of people sitting around a table, because there's a lot of cues that go on there. We know it, even from like doing this show, we have to have a way for you and I to signal each other to say, it's your turn now. And that takes time. And it takes, you know, it took me like a year of doing this show to figure out, oh, we need that. we need that way of doing this handoff. And so it wasn't until maybe, this show's been going for 13 years now. So it wasn't for like the first year that I kind of worked that out. We would both start talking together or whatever. And now that we have it's no surprise because I've actually talked through the whole process of making the show, that we have a back chat that you and I share. And I can say, okay, I'm about done with questions. I'm going to hand it over to you, or you're about done with questions. You can hand it back to me. And that way we stay in touch. And I'm sure there are similar cues that have to happen around a table where gaming is happening, where there's some sort of like, it's your turn to move next, or I want to join a party with you to go that way. There's got to be that sort of side chat that has to happen. So I'm wondering, it sounds like they've got a way to work that all out to be able to do that when we're in Antarctica or whatever. That was just a random choice. Apparently, Brazil and France is really the two places this has been. So this is good. I hope we get it spread out further. I mean, I know my reach is 7 continents. I know there's actually like a couple subscribers in Antarctica from my show, which is really great. I appreciate that, hearing from you guys from time to time. Okay. Well, we're almost out of time, so let me do the upcoming shows. Titan's coming up next. But, after the break, though, we're taking Christmas and New Year's off. So we'll be gone for 2 weeks, back the third week. Kong is coming back, talking about Next Generation API. Titan is about running your favorite database in a Docker container. We're going to talk to some people about an apprentice program, getting more women into tech, which is cool. Open Mainframes coming up, which is about bringing open source software to mainframes. Weaviate, open source knowledge graph. So that's Weaviate is a GraphQL RESTful API. API-based knowledge graph. And just added to the schedule, my buddy Hillel, who came on the show many, many moons ago about his invoicing thing, which is really cool. But he's also a big Flutter expert. And so he's going to talk to us about Flutter and what's changed, what's recent. Basically, it's going to be a show about Flutter, but from some who's not one of the guys from Google. So it's like, it'll be really cool. He runs this website, itsallwidgets.com, and so he puts various sites up there. It's kind of nice. Twitch.tv/FLOSS is the homepage for this show. If you have anybody else that you'd like on this show that we aren't putting on yet, please tell the project leader or community coordinator to email me, merlin@stonehenge.com. Okay, and then we have a live stream at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays at live.twit.tv. We have @FLOSS Weekly as the Twitter handle. We have @Merlin, MERLYN, is my Twitter handle. And you can go to the twit.community board, and we are watching that very carefully to see if anybody's posting questions about FLOSS Weekly. There's a specific area about FLOSS Weekly on that. And again, anything you want to plug, Dan, before we wrap up real quick?
No, just check out my Twitter. You just told me, no, you don't need it.
Yeah,
I just looked down at our little back chat and it says, no, I don't have nothing to plug. All right, well, and apparently the studio really wants the studio back, so we're going to let them have it. And we'll see you all again, not next week, 3 weeks from now on FLOSS Weekly.